This week, November 14th through 20th, is Transgender Awareness Week, and I am so excited because for the first time, I get to celebrate this week openly as an out transgender person, and it feels incredible. But I have to remind myself that not everyone is so lucky. There are millions of people around the world right now struggling with their identity or struggling to find the support and the safety that they need to express themselves and live authentically. While we celebrate all of the amazing steps forward this year, like President Obama mentioning trans people in his State of the Union for the first time ever, and publicly speaking about violence against transgender women of color, and appointing the first transgender White House staffer, and there being transgender characters in lead roles on TV shows like Sense8 and Orange is the New Black. And Caitlyn Jenner's coming out in subsequent reality show introducing millions of Americans to transgender concepts. And Ireland issuing self-declaration for gender identity on government documents. And in the United States, we are on the brink of ending transgender exclusions in public health care, and the ban on transgender people serving openly in the military. But with all of these achievements and increased visibility, it is crucial that we use this week to remember how far we have yet to go. In 31 US states, you can still be denied housing or fired from your job based on your gender identity. If you're the victim of a hate crime based on your gender identity, the law is only on your side in 16 states. 41% of transgender people have attempted suicide, compared to just 1.6% of the general population. There are approximately 2 million homeless youth in the United States, and 40% of them are queer or gender non-conforming. 1 in 5 transgender people have experienced homelessness, and among them, nearly a third have been reported being turned away from a shelter due to their identity. 1 in 2 trans people are sexually assaulted or abused in their lifetime. The 2011 hate violence report found that of the 30 anti-LGBTQ murders that year, 40% were transgender women, and 87% were people of color. And these United States stats are comparable to other nations around the world, and much worse in some. The Transgender Day of Remembrance was started in 1999 in memory of prominent trans activist Rita Hester, and in memory of all trans people lost to murder each year, the vast majority of which are women of color. We have such a long way to go towards equality and acceptance of transgender people, and it is going to continue to be a fierce fight due to systemic intersections with race, misogyny, criminal justice, and so much more. These injustices and challenges that we as transgender people face are a result of the stigma born out of a lack of understanding and a lack of compassion that the world, including our friends, coworkers, and families, have for transgender people. If you are not a transgender person, or if you are a transgender person with any amount of privilege, security, or a platform, I urge you to continue educating yourself. Educate others when able. Amplify the voices of the less privileged than yourself. Take action when you can, and remember those who came before us and those we've lost. And if you are transgender or questioning or struggling with your sexuality or any of the myriad mental health, familial, economic, etc. challenges that come with coping in an often unwelcome world, I urge you to find support where you can. I grew up in suburban Texas where there weren't teachers' doors with safe zone stickers on them or gay-straight alliances. To this day, I've tried looking up support groups in my hometown for friends of mine who still live there, and you'd have to drive at least an hour to get to any of them. I know firsthand how pointless it can sound when someone tells you to find a safe adult to talk to or a support group to join, when those things simply don't exist for you. I also know how much strength it can take sometimes to seek out in-person counseling or support groups. It's so much more than just admitting that you need help. It's revealing one of the most vulnerable and intimate parts of yourself to a stranger. And when you're going through something so difficult, tasks that would otherwise seem doable can feel like rolling a boulder up a mountain. A boulder that keeps falling back down on top of you. I do urge you to push yourself when you can, but I completely understand that that's not always possible. And when it's not, there are a ton of resources online that you can turn to get help, find an outlet, or just have someone to vent to. In particular, I recommend turning to the Trevor Project. You can call them anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can also text or instant message people who are there to help you through a crisis or just lend a judgment-free ear. We're all gonna have tough days, some worse than others, but there is hope, and there are people out there who want to help you. When I was looking up statistics for this video, I came across a finding from the National Transgender Discrimination Survey that gave me a lot of hope. It said that despite everything that we as transgender people face, in huge numbers, we eventually get access to care. We return to school. We feel more comfortable in our jobs. Once we get through our darkest days, we show more resourcefulness, perseverance, and resilience than the general population. So there is hope. As we remember all those we've lost this year and stand up for all there is left to do, also take a moment for yourself to remember that no matter how impossible and pointless it might seem now, there will be hope again one day. There is hope now, and there's a lot of people out there who want to help you. Even in the darkest nights, the sun still comes up at the end of it.
I was on my lunch break, I almost started crying, 'cause it really does get better if you wait. And there are times now when I still feel afraid, but gone are the times when I feel ashamed. And so for all the kids that really have it pretty bad,